Alright, divisional round's over with. And holy shit, Kansas City's still in it. Made a video about the Colts review earlier. Gave all my opinions on that. The Patriots... Well, let me back up. We're going to talk about the divisional round in this video. And we're also going to talk about the matchups, who I'm picking. I mean, it's all coming in this one video. So to start off, we're just going to do the divisional round recap. Kansas City demolished the Colts 31-13. A lot of records were broke that day. A lot of things got shattered that day. That same night, the Rams beat the Cowboys 30-22. New England just shit right down the Chargers' neck. I mean, it was bad. If I remember right, it was 35-7 at halftime, and there was only one other game that was 35-7 at half in a playoff game, and that was when New England played Tim Tebow, which was Tom Brady versus Tebow, ironically enough. Anyways, the end score to that was 41-28. Phillip Rivers was crying his ass off all game because he got pressured nonstop, and the Patriots kind of gave him a little bit of leeway in the second half of that game, and he scored a few points. And then tonight, also the game that got played tonight, the Saints ended up beating the Eagles 20-14. So here's what I gathered from this week. There's two very strong powerhouses in the AFC that are fighting it out, and that's New England and Kansas City. On the NFC side, it looks very dull. It's very, let me rephrase that. The games are very good, but there's no dominant team right now. I mean, there's no clear victor. It's a very, very close game. I remember somebody said that the Chargers had a chance in New England. Yeah, they had a chance in New England. Not really, but yeah. Here's what I said. Because this is also the same person that said Kansas City had no chance against the Colts, ironically enough. But the Chargers, of all people, had a chance in New England. So here was my response to that. The Chiefs have just as good a chance as they have the past 25 years to win. And the Chargers have a fair shot to win in New England. My personal opinion, I don't think they have a chance in New England. My personal opinion, I don't think the Colts were good enough to beat Kansas City. And both of them turned out to be true. The Chargers stood absolutely no chance in New England. They got there, they looked just like the Colts. I mean, they were coming off of a victory from a team that really just beat themselves the whole game. So they had all that momentum. They thought they were good. They were high up when really they was just an average team that wasn't ready for the playoffs. Yes, I think the Texans played terrible enough to let the Colts win. The Baltimore Ravens, they blew their own foot off enough times to where the Chargers were able to beat them, and they still almost beat the Chargers. That's a scary thing. So no, I didn't see a logical chance, or I didn't see, in my opinion, a logical prediction to put the Chargers over New England. I just didn't see it. Did the Chargers have the better roster? Oh, hell yeah, they did. The Chargers had a far better roster than New England. But you know what? New England's got Tom Brady, and that's about all there is to say about it. Chief, watch the cords, okay? Here. Crazy dog. Look, man, the Chargers may have been stacked, but it all boils down to one thing. Some quarterbacks are better at being pressured than others. And Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers is not that guy. If you pressure him, you get inside of his head. When you get inside of his head, he's lost. He's completely lost. The second you get inside that man's mind and the second he gets behind, he's done. He's done. That's his whole career right there. Why does he have the stats that he has? Look how long he's played. Look how long he started. Anybody that started that long is going to pull off stats like that. And I'm not saying that to try to belittle Phillip Rivers. I'm saying that because it's true. You know, he's won like what, 3 playoff games? He's only gotten to the playoffs like 3 or 4 times his entire career. I mean, he's literally got those stats because he's been there that long. And he started that long. Pressure tore that man up. It always does. What have I been saying all season? If you get pressure on Phillip Rivers, he starts whining and bitching to the refs. Then he goes to the sidelines and he cries and he bitches and he yells at people on the field and he smacks his hands against the ground like a child. That's who Phillip Rivers is. He becomes a crybaby when he starts losing. That's not compassion. That's not. Well, I used the wrong word. I said compassion. I meant passion. That's not passion for the sport. That's just being a sore-ass, sorry-ass loser. That's what that's being. He beats himself, really. I mean, he's not a bad quarterback. He just beats himself. He mentally breaks himself down to where he can't compete. Even against teams that shouldn't compete with him. I honestly don't know what that noise is. Don't know. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it's like a constant siren. Wow. That's creepy. So I don't know if you guys could hear that. That's strange, man. Yeah. Okay, so here's what that was. It sounded like a constant siren. It just kicked on. I've got a electric air mattress thing that blows up air mattresses for when I go camping. And that thing just randomly turned on. That's extremely creepy. Weird. I have no idea why that would happen. But it just turned on out of nowhere. Wouldn't have a clue. That's some creepy shit. Like, I had folded clothes and put them on top of it, but that was like yesterday. So I don't know why it would turn on now. Weird. That creeps me the hell out. That is really strange. Anyways, back to the video. God damn, that is strange. That bugs me. Anyways, back to the video. Okay, so passion for the sport is like Um, who's a good example? Passion for the sport is like Tom Brady. You know, he gets sacked, somebody misses a block, he rips their ass for it. That's compassion. Or him over there arguing with his coach. Yeah, it happens. But for Phillip Rivers, it only happens when they're losing. And I mean, yeah, I get it. People get frustrated. But I've seen Tom Brady winning games, right? And somebody misses a block, and he rips their ass for it. That's a leader. That's passion. That's passion. Pounding your fist on the ground, sitting on the ground, whining to the refs. That's not going to get you anywhere, man. So what do we have? Well, we have two of the greatest rematches from this season. We've got New England and Kansas City, which is going to be played at Kansas City this time. And we've got LA and we've got New Orleans, and it's at New Orleans again. I can tell you right now, these matchups are not going to be anything like what they were in the regular season. Period. They're not going to be anywhere close. The Kansas City and New England game, I don't know how the hell that's going to go. It can be a complete shootout, or it can be a very low scoring game. I really have no idea at this point. The LA New Orleans game, I think that one's going to be low scoring. I know the Rams put up 30 on Dallas's defense, whatever, but I think Philadelphia was a tougher opponent, and I think it's going to be a low scoring game. I think it's going to come down to defense, and if I have to pick somebody to go, be honest with you, I don't know if the Saints can do it again. The Rams played pretty decent against the Cowboys. They played pretty decent. I mean, the Cowboys had a decent defense. I didn't get to catch all that game, so I didn't see exactly what all happened. But the Rams' defense did show up better than what they did in the prior weeks. Let's just put this here. If the Rams run like they did against Dallas, New Orleans doesn't have a chance. They don't. I don't see New Orleans winning that game if the Rams run like hell like they did against the Cowboys. Do I think that's going to happen? Not necessarily. I think it's just going to be a very even match. And New Orleans, they got frustrated today. They got a lot of penalties. A lot of things happen to them that normally do not happen. So I don't know, man. This is a tough one. I think what New Orleans is going to try to do is take away the Rams' run game, or try to take it away. And if they can do that, it's going to force Jared Goff to pass. And Jared Goff he's a decent quarterback, but he's not a Drew Brees. I think the Saints are going to try to get out on him early. You know what? Both of these picks are just, they could go either way. I mean, it's really so close and so tight-knit. You really can't judge it. I mean, you really can't. You know what? I'm going to go with New Orleans because of the veteran. I think the Rams did play better football this weekend by far. But I'm gonna take the veteran. I think Drew Brees is just. I don't know. I just have a feeling he's going to find a way to win, regardless. But if the Rams won, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me at all if the Rams won. That's just a game where it's a toss-up. They're both really good. So we're going to move over to Kansas City and New England. So let's kind of look at the history here between these two teams. Patrick Mahomes threw, what was it? Five touchdowns and 2 picks or something like that in the first game, or 6 touchdowns and 2 picks. I can't remember what it was. But the 2 picks turned out a little bit crucial. We scored near the end of the game, and then Tom Brady got it, and it's extremely hard to stop Tom when he has the ball last. It's nearly impossible. So, what are kind of the keys there? Well, playing in Arrowhead's definitely different than playing in Foxborough. The Patriots haven't been as good as they have on the road this year as they have at home, but this is the playoffs, and it is Tom Brady, and Julian Edelman looked good today. The defense looked really good in the first half. The second half was a little bit more conservative, so I'm not going to hold that against them. I think the defenses and the offenses it's pretty evenly matched, really. They're both just really good football teams. I feel like Mahomes is going to come out this game, and he's going to feel like he has something to prove, and that could either work with him or against him. He could either get too cocky and get caught up in himself and make mistakes, or he could go out there and just sling it. I feel like Kansas City feels like they have something to prove now because they've been underrated for years. They've had everything said about them. They feel like they need to prove something and redeem themselves from earlier in the year. I also said in the regular season I wasn't mad about losing to New England, especially at that point in the season when they were playing good at Foxborough by 3 points. I felt like Kansas City played really good. We just couldn't hold Tom Brady off at the end of the game. And not many teams can. I feel like it's the same way this time around. It's just a battle of the powerhouses. And I also said that I would rather lose to New England in the regular season than in the postseason. And I also wanted to play New England again in the postseason, and we are. So I kind of ended up getting what I want. I wanted this. I didn't want the Chargers. I wanted New England because I felt like New England was a better team. If Kansas City wins this game, I'll feel like we're legit. If Kansas City loses this game, we just got beat by a good football team. We probably got beat by the best, honestly. In my honest opinion, if New England wins this AFC Championship game, I feel like they're probably going to win the Super Bowl. They don't have a lot of talent. No, they don't. But the way that Tom Brady and Bill Belichick lead that team is unbelievable, especially in the postseason. And if Sean McVay makes it, I feel like he's too inexperienced to beat Tom Brady. I feel like Jared Goff is too inexperienced. I feel like they would get outcoached and they get outplayed. Now, if Drew Brees made it, that'd be a little bit different of a story. I feel like Sean Payton and Drew Brees have a good chemistry where they could butt up against New England. Here's what I think. If you look back in the past, Tom Brady's only played at Arrowhead 3 times. He's only won 1 time, and he won by 6 points. It won 6 points. I think it was like 27-13 or something like that. But I do believe that was the game where he broke his leg and Matt Castle was in for the rest of the year. Or, something happened with his leg. I can't remember. But Matt Castle was in for the rest of the year. I'm pretty sure it was that year when they won in Arrowhead, ironically enough. And that was the year we was god-awful. The other 2 times when Tom Brady did play, he lost. He lost, I think it was like 27-20 or something like that. And then, of course, you had that big blowout on Monday night where Kansas City broke the record for the loudest stadium in the world. And then they went and blew the Patriots out 41-14. Tom Brady ended up getting benched like halfway through the fourth or something like that. And I believe Jimmy Garoppolo came in and threw 2 touchdown passes and made it 14. Which, mind you, statistically, that was the worst night Tom Brady has ever had in his career. So that's one thing that Kansas City holds against Tom Brady. Let's talk about things that go against or that go with Tom Brady. So obviously he doesn't really play well at Arrowhead. He obviously doesn't like to be there. I don't think there's anybody in the league that likes to be there besides the fans and the players. But this is the playoffs, and this is different. It's not going to be a blowout. I guarantee you that. It's not going to be a blowout. It's going to be a close game. The things that go with Tom Brady, he's a veteran. He's like 49-0 against quarterbacks that are under 25 years old or something like that, or 24. He's never been beat by Mahomes. He's only played Mahomes once, though, and he beat him by 3. Now, Tom Brady on the road in the AFC Championship is 0-3. He lost to Peyton Manning in Denver. He lost to Peyton Manning in Indianapolis. And he lost to... Damn, who was the other one? I think it was Peyton Manning all 3 times. Yeah, it was Peyton Manning all 3 times. Yeah, it was Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning beat him all 3 times. Big difference between Peyton Manning and Patrick Mahomes. Big difference. Tom Brady has the skill set. He's got the coaching. He's not afraid of the weather. They're just going to have to outplay New England, and that's going to be hard as hell to do. Let me put it this way. If Kansas City can carry over the defensive formula that they used to beat the Colts, they can use that to beat New England. New England runs the ball, and when they run the ball, they open everything else up. When you pressure Tom Brady, he has trouble. Does it stop Tom Brady? No. Does it slow him down? Yes, it does. And that's what that offense needs. They don't need Tom Brady to be stopped. They just need him to be slowed down so they can stay on the field. New England's defense is stout, but I think Mahomes can handle him. Again, nobody stopped Mahomes this year. They've just kind of slowed him down. This ball game's going to go one of 2 ways. Each team has the same formula. They want to come in. They want to shut down Kansas City's run game. They want to keep Mahomes off the field. Kansas City wants to do the same thing to Tom Brady. That's the only method to beating these 2 teams. So if you ask me, it's pretty simple. It's gonna succeed for one team and it's gonna fail for the other. And I honestly can't make a decision. I can't. If I have to make a prediction, I'm gonna support my team. Do I think Kansas City will win? I think they got a good shot. Based off of what I've seen them do against the Colts, I think they got a good shot. They really do. If they can make that formula work against the New England Patriots, they got a good shot. They are going to have to pressure Tom Brady into the ground. Yet people don't understand what that means. I'm talking about the way that Phillip Rivers was eaten up today by that defense. That's what they're going to have to do to Tom Brady to keep him down. I mean, they are just going to have to be all over him all game. They're going to have to be relentless. And even with them being relentless and being all over him, Tom Brady's still going to be Tom Brady. It's just going to slow him down a little bit. like I said, it's going to work for one team. It's going to fail for the other. If Damian Williams keeps running like he was, if the pass rush stays on top of Tom like they did Andrew, I think they got a good chance. However, if the run game doesn't open up, if Mahomes starts slowing up a little bit or getting slowed down, and then Tom Brady comes in and he has all day to throw, the running game's going to open up, and New England's going to bust us wide open. I mean, it's literally a Richter scale. It's going to work for one team, it's going to fail for the other. That's all you can say about it. That these two teams are literally going in trying to do the exact same thing to each other, because that's the only way to slow each other down. This is going to be, I don't think it's going to be a 40-point game like it was the first time. I think this is going to be like a 27-24 game. I think it's literally going to come down to whichever defense steps up and makes a play when it matters. If it's a close game again, don't give Brady the ball. Do not give him the ball. I don't care if Tyreek Hill has to go down at the 10-yard line and get touched so we can run the clock out. Do not let Tom have the ball last. That is signing your own death warrant. I don't care what team you are. I don't care what point in time in the season you are. That is an absolute death warrant to let him have the football last. If you let him have the football last, it is game over. That is it. You are not keeping Tom out of the end zone. It's just not going to happen. Or out of field goal range, for that matter. You got better luck with keeping him out of the end zone, but keeping him out of field goal range, good luck. By the way, remember when Colin Cowherd said, "Good luck, AFC"? Yeah. Yeah, well, Andrew Luck needed luck, didn't he? His luck ran out. I said it once and I'll say it again, and I actually said this in the Colts video. There was a lot of analysts that claimed that the Colts offense was the best offensive line in the NFL. I called that out. I said that was total bullshit. It's New England. Well, you got two really good offensive lines meeting up next week. Two really good ones. And judging by what they did to the Chargers, you got two really good defensive lines wanting to get after that offensive line. It's going to be a war. The only thing Mahomes has over Tom Brady is the fact he can get out of the pocket quicker. That may advantage us a little bit, but all Tom Brady needs is a split second. I mean, they are really going to have to get after this guy. Judging by the problems, like I said, this is the past. This isn't the future. Tom Brady's had really horrible problems at Arrowhead. He's had pretty big problems on the road in AFC games, which, again, that was Peyton Manning. Patrick Mahomes is not Peyton Manning. This team is not the 2015 Broncos, the 2013 Broncos. They're just not. So I honestly can't say what's going to happen. We're just going to have to watch and let the game unfold. Of course, I'm going to support my team. Of course, I'm going to sit here and say that I'd like to see my team win. But it's a Richter scale. It can go either way. It's whoever plays better. Do I think Kansas City is a little bit better offensively than New England? Yes, I do. I'm a firm believer that if you take Edelman away and you let Cordell Patterson have a little bit of leeway and you somewhat shut down Sony Michel and you keep Tom Brady at bay, the offense can do their job. We can win the game. But if you start scoring points and you just get conservative, these guys are going to come back and they're going to fight. I think that's honestly about it. I mean, there's really just not much to say about it. It's win or go home, and I feel like Kansas City has a lot to prove here. I feel like this is the first time this has ever happened for them. They got to come out big. They got to make a statement. They got to beat the team that beat them earlier. They feel like they got to shut up the analysts. They have something to prove. Tom Brady and the Patriots, if they lose this game, they've been to so many consecutive AFC championships. They've won so many Super Bowls. They'll be right back in it next year. Kansas City, on the other hand, I think we're going to be a good team next year, obviously, with what we did this year, but you never know. I mean, all of our stuff rides on Pat Mahomes. What if he gets hurt? You don't have to worry about Tom Brady getting hurt. He never gets touched. Kansas City's got to make a statement. And I feel like Patrick Mahomes going into a Super Bowl as a first-year starter would make a massive statement. And they said at the beginning of the year, we're looking towards a Super Bowl and we're not stopping. We'll see where that goes. The team that's going to win this game is the team with the biggest heart. The team that simply refuses to lose. That's who's going to win this game. Super Bowl wise, I don't even know who's going to be there. We'll find out next weekend, because I honestly don't have a clue. I think Kansas City and New Orleans is a matchup people have wanted to see this entire season. I don't know if that'll happen, but if it did, I can't make a decision on that because we don't even know if that's going to happen. But MVP versus MVP, think about it. So that's about all I have to say about that.